How do you target consumers? What do you do in preparation?
Well, remember, we don't target the consumers. That's the neat thing about social referrals is I used to be in a business where we did a lot of targeted marketing, segment-based delivery. What this is a different kind of almost behavioral targeting, but the behavior you're targeting is friendship. So instead of, what we're saying is no matter what the segments you are, you could buy on an advertising network or on TV, there's no segment more precise than the fact that I trust you. And so that's the segment you're buying is trust. What we're allowing you to do is buy trust at scale. So when Matt decides to refer to Charlene, it's because something in our relationship says that this is something you'd like. Now, maybe in a business context, it would be different than a personal context, but it's the kind of micro-targeting that implicitly uses our relationships.
An example you gave was genealogy.
Yes.
So why me and not my neighbor down the hall?
You know, that's an interesting question. And so that really gets to the question of why not just let referrals happen normally. Why do you need software to do referrals? It seems like I just did it to you right now. I didn't need any software. And the distinction is I may, if it comes up, refer to you to 23andMe because, hey, we're talking about it. I had something interesting. Maybe I got an email from them last night, so something brought it to top of mind. But it's not very frequent. And so I had an experience where I was a super fan of a company called Sonos that it's an audio player for the home, and I loved it. And I loved it because it's the first piece of high-end audio equipment my wife could use. So I would go onto blogs and forums, and I'd comment, and for a couple months, I probably was in their top 10 most active advocates, and then I wasn't. And so what incentives do inside of marketing is they remind me to do it in a way. They get my attention. So you're not actually doing a sort of cynical pay for performance. What you're doing is you're saying, hey, I have a gift that I can give to you. I have a gift that you can give to your friend. And it makes you pay attention. It makes you actually do it, and it gives you a reason to do it. I did it to you because, hey, you might find it interesting. Now, you may not do it, but it doesn't cost anybody anything if you don't do it. But maybe you know about something you didn't know about before.
What social media platforms do you tend to use?
Personally or with the product?
With the product. But you could talk personally after that.
The most effective platform is email still, and it's email on mobile. So the vast majority of them are email, and the majority of the email is on mobile. Beyond after that, it's Facebook. It's Twitter, and after that, it's Facebook. We've experimented with a few others like Pinterest and LinkedIn, but those really are the top 3 channels.
And how do you overcome spam? I mean, where do your emails wind up?
That's a great question. So there's actually 2 sides to it, and a lot of people don't realize it until they get into this sort of marketing. So there's the deliverability part of it, which means you don't want to go in the wrong folder on Google, you don't want to go in the junk folder, especially when you're sending something that's like a cash card. You're sending someone money that they're expecting to get and they don't get it. It's very frustrating for them. So we have actually spent 3 years building this and continually work through issues: can spam, deliverability, whitelist, blacklist. We integrate with our customers, whitelist and blacklist. But the most important thing we do is the message comes from me to you, not from 23andMe to you. And that way Google says this is a legitimate person sending to a legitimate person with crafted text in their email. This is going to get delivered. And the flip side of it is the issue of fraud. And that's something where there's an obvious risk that someone's just going to send it out to 10,000 of their friends just to see what they could get, or they could send it to themselves. And so our back-end system helps prevent people from sending lots of emails, helps prevent people from sending themselves or their friends, helps people, there's certain IPs that we can block from certain countries to help protect both the consumer and the marketer sending out.
In terms of your social media push, what are the dynamics that makes your business work on a Facebook or a Twitter?
So as I said before, we do a lot through email, and one of the reasons is it's very direct and private. So I can tell you to use 23andMe. I can tell you to use, to buy an American Giant sweatshirt, and you're going to read it and react. But it's between the two of us. It doesn't appear like an advertising or a shill. It appears like an authentic advocacy moment. The trick and the fun part with the Twitter and Facebook is you can't make it look like an ad. So now you're broadcasting, you're not narrowcasting. Lots of people potentially could see it depending on how many followers or friends you have. So I believe the migration there is going to be more towards sharing events, sharing videos, sharing photos, where the incentive is attached. So I may send you something that's a cool video from someone I buy from, and they open it like, oh, that's awesome. Or there may be a custom bag that I bought, and they sent me a photograph of the thing that I bought. So it is more content driven and more experience driven, yet it still has the incentive. The key here is we're trying to find the right balance between incentives that motivate people to pay attention and do the sharing versus incentives that feel like you're just turning into a pitch man for a product, which has no authenticity and does not work. And our goal is to stay on the right side of that problem to help amplify the customer's message.